the concepts of virtual reality and augmented reality are sort of on two different development paths, but they're obviously fundamentally interrelated, right? So virtual reality, it's kind of possible to build today, right? Quest 2, it's pretty popular, doing well. Hopefully, the new one that comes out, I think it's a pretty big step above it. But you can build that today. There's a lot of new technology that we've researched that goes into that, but it also is building on top of decades of advances in displays that came from TVs and then laptops and phones, and some of the display technology gets to piggyback on those decades of innovation and all these different companies that have done that work before. AR is a pretty different beast because what you really want to get to is not a headset. You want to get to something that's like a normal looking pair of glasses that is, it won't be like a wireframe because you'll need to fit some electronics in it, right? You'll basically need to have a computer in there and speakers and a microphone and batteries and a laser projector. And then the display, which, we and a lot of other folks think is going to be this technology called waveguides, which is completely different from screens because it's a screen. It's like you're looking at a thing and basically you're looking at like all the pixels that are on the screen. The thing that's different about a waveguide is it'll actually be see-through. So you'll be able to see the world through it, and then it'll display holograms and be able to place them at different depths in the world.
So is a waveguide a type of technology? Like what is a waveguide?
Yeah, it's basically they can be made of different substances, plastic, glass, different substrates, and they basically get etched or printed in different ways. And there's this big debate right now where a lot of the research is going into what is the right way to basically create these waveguides that have the right properties, because you want for augmented reality to get something that's wide enough field of view. So you can imagine in 5 years we're having this conversation. I'm not here. You're wearing AR glasses. Hologram Mark is here, and like it's not only just is it kind of working as a hologram, but there's all these different dimensions beyond just being like a better video chat. If we want to play poker, it's like I could like deal a deck of cards and we could play. Hologram me could deal hologram cards, and you could have your glasses, and physical you there could pick up the hologram cards, and you can have a poker night where like some of your friends are there physically and some of them are there as holograms. And it's actually kind of wild. One of the thought experiments that I like to do is thinking about how few of the things that we physically have in the world actually need to be physical. Obviously things like chairs need to be physical, right? You're not going to be sitting on a hologram. Food needs to be physical. But most entertainment type stuff, not just cards, but games, most media, TVs in the future probably won't need to actually be physical things. It'll just be like an app, we'll just have an app there on your wall, and it's like snap your fingers, get the hologram there for the TV, and we can have our glasses and watch whatever you want there. And I don't know, they're sort of limited to being rectangular now because a bunch of limits in terms of the physics of how they get produced. But in the future, you'll just have like some high school students or college students developing apps, and it'll just be wild. Like crazy stuff will just kind of get created. So you'll eventually be able to kind of have that all come through these AR glasses.
So are there these AR glasses, are they in production now? Are they in development now? Like when you talk about this kind of technology where you can see things that aren't there and look at maps and watch videos and have it all on a small computer that's in the frame of the glasses. Do they exist already?
No. I think we'll start to get stuff that kind of looks like the full version of this over the next, I'd say, 3 to 5 years. But I think it'll also start off pretty expensive once it's available, and then it'll take a while to work down to something that's like hundreds of dollars. But there are versions of this that you can start to see if you relax some of the constraints, right? So the kind of ultimate AR experience is that, like, okay, you just have normal looking glasses that can kind of have all of these have holograms and make it so you can interact with people wherever you want. But if you relax the form factor constraint, right? So you have a headset instead of normal looking glasses. That's the other thing that's coming in the new device that we're shipping in October is mixed reality in VR, right? So we got to play around with this a little bit in the sword fighting experience that we did, but it's basically the thing about mixed reality is you see the physical world around you. In the context of VR, it's not happening through a waveguide. It's basically happening through you have cameras on the device that capture the world and then translate that in real time into stereo images, so different images in both eyes, so that way you can, because otherwise it's weird. I mean, we kind of see stuff in 3D because we have our two eyes see slightly different things. So you're kind of the computers are putting that together on the fly, and then you can overlay digital objects on top of that. So when we were, sword fighting, it's like the version of me and my sword. It's like that was a digital thing, but otherwise it was in your lobby, right? And you could see your lobby.
Yeah.
So you could start to see those kind of AR experiences starting to get built, but in a form factor around mixed reality VR first. So that's one direction that I think that the industry is exploring. The other is basically looking at, okay, so we got to constrain this form factor because we want to have something that looks like normal glasses. What's the most technology that we can fit into a pair of normal looking glasses today? Right, so you kind of go from both sides, right? It's like, what's the experience that we want to have, even if we can't get the form factor right? And what's the best we can do with the form factor? And then each year, those two basically converge. But on the smart glasses side, and we work with Ray-Ban to basically build these smart glasses, and they're the best-selling smart glasses that have ever been built. And they're, we're continuing to work on new versions of it, but they're, basically you can get a pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarers now that have a microphone and that they have a speaker and they can take photos and take videos and you can post them to Instagram. Yeah,
they do it on voice command.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, so you could say take a photo of this.
Yep. Take a photo, take a video.
And what kind of image quality are you getting off of these things?
It's pretty good. It's I want to make sure I don't get the spec wrong, and I just have all these different numbers in my head because I want to make sure I don't confuse it with the new version.
Is it like similar to like a selfie camera, like limited in comparison to the back camera?
Yeah, no, it's not quite as good as the back cameras today, but it's but yeah, no, it's like, I mean, you look at the quality and it's good, and it fits in like the corner of glasses.